Kinematics 3, and today we are going to define the most basic terms. Of course, they are physical quantities, not just terms. Displacement, average velocity, average acceleration, instantaneous velocity. All these things we're going to define today. Start with distance. Simply path length. Like one particle started moving like that, for example. So you can spread one rope along this. You can take a rope and align it with this path. Spread it on a scale and measure it. So that will be what you call as distance. Okay. This may be the initial position. This may be some final position or position at a time t. Let me say this is position at t equals 0. This is a position at time t. So this path length is what you mean by the distance. All right. And after that, not much about it. Hello. So SI unit is meter, right? And dimensional formula will be L t to the power minus 1. So this is the dimensional formula. Dimensional formulas are expressed in MLT like that in terms of the fundamental quantities. We have not talked about units and dimension, but that's supposed to be known to you people. So every time whenever we define a physical quantity, we need to give the at least SI units and the dimensional formula. And since it has no specific direction, this distance must be a scalar quantity. Isn't it so? That's enough for distance. Then next thing is the displacement vector. But look, you can keep writing, but at the same time, you can keep asking questions in the middle also. Children, are you there in the meeting?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
now look at this. I can take that same diagram there, for example. So that means same situation I can take. The same particle I can still consider. It went like that, for example. Now, this is what we call as displacement, which is the way you define it is the shortest distance between the initial and final positions, people say. But we have a specific way of showing it by fixing a coordinate system like this. Even here, you can say you fixed a coordinate system here. This is x-axis. So along that, you got the displacement, you can say. But to make it later 3D, we need to go for this kind of a thing. The first position, the initial position could be written as shown by one vector, position vector called R1 bar. The final position is represented by R2 bar like this. And this will be delta R from initial to final. So from law of triangular vectors, you can write R1 plus delta R bar equals R2 bar. So delta R equals R2 minus R1, which I've given you some time ago.
Yes, sir.
Somewhere I've talked about it. Did I?
Yes, sir.
So this is the displacement vector. So since I already used the word displacement vector, I need not have to say it's a vector quantity, right? But remember, look at this is our displacement. All right. Hello.
Yes.
And the direction will be along that. We can call it secant actually from initial to final point. So along that arrow of delta R all the time. All right. Can I continue, children? To the
Yes.
next page. Keep writing every time. Now, next, average velocity vector. Once again, we'll make it analytical by taking a coordinate system. Say, for example, I'll show us much simpler path now so that it looks easy for us to do things. Say particle was here at t equals 0. At t, actually, I don't want to say initial and final positions. I will say position at t equals 0, then position at some time t. Aman, you're not coming regularly. This is our R1 bar, right? This is our R2 bar. And where is the delta R thing? Like this.
Between the points. Yes.
Yeah. And this delta R bar should be given a direction from initial to final. This is called delta R. Now, V average equals delta R by delta T. And the direction of V average is along delta R bar. Or along the secant. Secant is a line which cuts through the curve. Look, we already defined average velocity like this, total displacement by total time, we say, don't we say?
Yes, sir.
From that too, we went a little more mathematical. This delta R is nothing but total displacement. Delta T is nothing but total time.
And
All right.
yes, sir.
And of course, previously we wrote R2 minus R1, and I told you how to write it in IJK form also. Delta R equals X2 minus X1 I cap plus Y2 minus Y1 J cap plus Z2 minus Z1 K
Okay.
cap. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Right. This is average velocity. So which will be written once again if you wanted as V average equals R2 bar minus R1 bar by T2 minus
T2
T1.
minus T1.
Okay. But say when a particle moves in a straight line, for example, there's no need to show it in 2 dimensions or 3 dimensions. You can simply say a particle is moving in a straight line like this, for example. So you can take x equals 0 here, and x here you can take. So V average will be, if you don't want just to write any IJK, you can simply say delta x by delta t, that is x minus 0 by t minus 0, you can write. Right? Hello. But you want to write it as an average, I mean, in the unit vector form, you want to write V average equals what? Xi bar, x minus 0, by t, you can write. Do you follow? It is only one dimension. This need not have to show in 2 dimensions if it is already known to be moving in a straight line. Do you follow? So what we already learned is now more generalized in the, see, the way we write it is in 3 dimensions. Delta R can have X component, Y component, Z component. All right?
Yes, sir.
Now, instantaneous velocity vector. I'll go for the applications together. Let me just define things properly. Can I change the screen?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Instantaneous velocity vector. Now, the same figure I'll take again. The particle was moving like that, for example. So you'll take R1, R2. This is delta R. Now, limiting value of delta R by delta T as delta T tends to 0 is V instantaneous. This comes from derivatives. And you know, as delta T is tending to 0, what will happen, children? I'll just show it again separately here. This is my T1 equals 0. This is my T2 equals T. This was my delta R. So average velocity was along this. Now, delta T tending to 0. This is called limit of delta R by delta T. Those who are not there in the beginning, I'll tell you how to write it. How do you pronounce it? How do you say it? Limiting value of, or limit of, you can say. Limit of average velocity as what? Delta T approaches 0 is what you call as instantaneous velocity. What does it mean? Keep the time, this point fixed here, and make this time lesser. Delta T is somewhat lesser than what we thought, for example. in the beginning. So this is my delta t. All right. Now say delta t is even made smaller. The body will be somewhere nearer. The secant will be like this. Delta t is here. It will be like this. Delta t is here. It will be like this. The displacement, right? So as this delta t is approaching 0, somewhere the secant here becomes actually what? Tell me. Tangent. So this is the direction of your dr by dt.
Sorry, you're muted.
Yeah, this is the tangent. And this is the direction of V instantaneous. Of course, V instantaneous is also referred to as what? dr by dt.
Yes, sir.
So why did I show all this again? Tell me. I want to tell you that the direction of instantaneous velocity is along the tangent. The direction of instantaneous velocity is along the tangent. And one more important point I would like to mention here. When you say a body is moving in a particular way, or when you mention the direction of motion of a body, it is the direction of instantaneous velocity vector. Do you follow? Huh? Hello, I made a statement, Ganesh. What is that? Direction of motion of a body is the direction of, tell me, what did I say? Instantaneous velocity. It is not the direction of acceleration. These are all very, very fundamental points, which I'll be making clearer by giving examples. Before going to average acceleration, I'll make things clear. So, this can be written as V instantaneous, can be written as in more IJK form, R equals what? Xi plus Yi plus Zk, right? So dx by dt I cap, dy by dt j cap plus dz by dt k cap. When the body is moving in 3 dimensions. But if it is known to be moving only in x direction, hello, if it is
Yes, sir.
known to be moving only in a single direction, which you may call as x direction, I can write V equals simply what? Dx by dt I cap, or this component you can call as Vx, dx by dt, right? Hello.
Yes, sir.
And we have a formula to find out dx by dt. What is it? If y equals x power n, dy by dx equals what? N into x power n minus 1. So to find out the instantaneous quantities, we have a general formula like this. Hello. So for example, if x equals t square, dx by dt will be called instantaneous velocity, that is 2 into t to the power 2 minus 1, which is 2t. Okay. So
yes, sir.
Both the techniques and basic ideas. The technique is this. Most of the times we'll be going for this formula of derivative, d of y by dx. That is derivative of y with respect to x is n into x power n minus 1. So this helps us in calculating the instantaneous rate of change of y on x. And here, the instantaneous rate of change of displacement on t is called instantaneous velocity. And if it is only in x direction, you can do like this. If it is in all the directions, you should know x as a function of time, y as a function of time, so that you could differentiate and put it in the formula. So please write it and tell me. I'll be illustrating everything with proper numericals. But as I told you, you're welcome to ask questions. You need not have to take things for granted or blindly. Make as much effort as possible to give some meaning to what you're doing. And that meaning becomes more clear once you apply them in the problems. Amar, are you there in the class? Do you follow it?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Jawahar?
Yes, sir.
Zuhair?
Yes, sir. I understood it.
Right. So, I'll continue, children. And I'm asking you to write also. I'm not just, I don't want you to just keep listening and forget it later. So before we go for the acceleration definitions, I would just show a few numericals for distance, displacement, average velocity, instantaneous velocity like this. But I would like to remind you people, we have a habit of saying speed. Of course, here I did not define speed yet. I'll define speed also. After distance, I could have defined speed, but I'll define speed also. So there's nothing like one definition called speed, average speed, instantaneous speed like that. There are no three speeds, only two, either average speed or instantaneous speed. Only two velocities, average velocity or instantaneous velocity. Just saying that velocity is displacement by time is making it easy. But otherwise, when you say velocity is displacement by time, you're actually talking about average velocity. And if you make the time interval very, very small, you get a velocity at that particular time. So that's called instantaneous velocity. Okay. Now, can I continue? Can I change my screen?
Yes, sir.
Now, we forgot average speed in the middle. Let me write average speed. This is not a vector, it is path length by time. Huh? So V average, I'm not going to write it with arrow or anything. Huh? V average is delta S by delta T, I'll say. Delta S is what? Huh? Delta S is what?
Displacement.
No, path length.
Path length.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
For example, it was moving like that, this way. So it started here, t equals 0, and at 5 seconds it is here, Amar. Huh? This length was, for example, some 25 centimeters. And this was, for example, some 10 centimeters. Now, the magnitude of average speed, see, average speed has only magnitude, no direction. So V average, here average speed I'll write. Average speed will be 25
25 by,
that
yes,
is
sir,
25
by
minus 0, actually speaking. 25s minus 0, that is by 5 minus 0. This
0.
is 5 meters per second. Do you follow? This 25 centimeters path length by this one. But magnitude of average velocity. Why am I saying magnitude of average velocity? It is also direction, right? Huh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So when I'm writing only the numbers, I should say it is magnitude. How much is it?
10 by 5, sir.
Yes, 10 centimeters. That is 10 minus 0 by 5 minus 0. Same time. Time is same for both. This is how much?
2 meters per second.
Okay. So that's the difference between average speed and average velocity's magnitude. And direction is, of course, this way you can say. All right. Huh? Then instantaneous speed. By definition, once again, you can give things like this. What? Instantaneous speed, V instantaneous is equal to, which is ds by dt. Actually, it is not a delta s by delta t. This is ds by dt. The difference between delta s and ds is that delta s may be small, but finite. That is, you can measure it, you can count it. ds is infinitesimally small. You know, finite meaning is what? It is substantial. You can measure it. Even if it is small, it is finite. It is countable. But ds is what? Infinitesimally small. So that ds by dt is called instantaneous. That is equal to limit of delta s by delta t as delta t goes to 0. Okay. So an immediate example I'll provide here. Say s equals 2t square. That means a particle's path. This is path is 2t square. It is depending on time that way. Find velocity, speed at 2 seconds. So when you say speed at 2 seconds, it means instantaneous speed. So I'll find out differentiation of this. ds by dt equals 2 into, from the formula x to the power n, what should I write here? N into x to the power n minus 1. So 2 into t to the power 2 minus 1. This is how much?
40.
So this is speed at t. I want speed at 2. So v at 2
4
seconds
into
will be
2.
4 into 2, which is 8 minutes.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
But for the same thing, you want to find out average velocity, what will you do? Delta s by delta t equals s2 minus s1 by t2 minus
T2
t1.
minus T1.
S2 at 2 seconds. What will be that? 2 into 2 square. 4 minus S1. T equals 0 in the beginning. 4 minus 0 by, what was the time there? Sorry, this is 2 seconds, huh? Where did we find out previously? At 2 seconds we found out. So in 2 seconds average speed, if I want 2 into 2 square, that is 4. 2 into 4 minus 0 by time is what? 2 minus 0.
Yes, sir.
This is at 2. This is between 2 and 0. Do you follow my point?
Yes,
So
sir.
this is 8 by 2, which is
4.
4 meters per second. So the instantaneous speed is 8. The average speed is 4. Instantaneous speed at 2 is 8. Average speed between 2 and 0 is 4. Okay. Do all that and you may ask a question. So I'm showing it with the most simplest of the examples. So Jawahar and Amar, huh? You tell me. If you want, I'll tell that again. But later, while doing problems, you should not say that, sir, we did not follow previously. Right now, you can ask anything. I hope you followed. Say S equals to D square. Find speed at 2 seconds. Speed at 2 seconds is, from here it comes. Speed between 2 and 0 or in 2 seconds will be like this. You substitute T equals 2, T equals 0, and then T2 minus T1 you do, you get 4 meters per second. This is average speed. This is instantaneous speed. Okay. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Vignesh, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Manasa?
Yes, sir.
So, shall I continue? So, shall I continue for the next page?
Yes, sir.
Now, just I'll stop for a while before going to average acceleration, all that. Tell me, what are those things we said? Distance, displacement, right? With the distance, we defined average speed. With the defined after average speed, instantaneous speed. With the displacement, we defined average velocity and instantaneous velocity. Do you follow? Huh? So now I'll go on giving questions. Simple numericals, basically. Huh? Now, the most simplest of the things. A particle, a body moves some 12 meters like this, and then 5 meters like this. This is the starting position. Distance equals how much? Displacement equals how much? Right?
Distance 17 meters, sir.
Yeah, distance is 17 meters.
17.
Displacement is
13 meters.
13 meters. Right? And and you can show the displacement direction physically, geometrically here. This is the displacement, right? Huh? Hello.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
And simple Pythagoras theorem gave us 12 square plus 5 square under root as what? 13.
Root. Yes, sir.
Isn't it so?
Yes.
But displacement being a vector, I can represent that as S equals, or delta S bar equals 12 I cap plus
5j cap.
5j cap. All right.
Yes.
Just keep doing. I'll keep continuing. Once again, similar thing. Say 12 meters like this, 5 meters like this. No, just a minute. Say a person walks 8 meters like this, then goes towards left by 6 meters. Okay. And there he was climbing up a pole of height 15 meters. Upwards. Huh? You understand? Hello. Either you can put this way, which way we want to put, that's left to you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So distance, displacement. Distance is just count. How much?
14.
14 plus 15. Hello.
14 plus 15.
You go like this, and climb above the ground. Okay. 8 meters on the ground, 6 meters on the ground, and then 15 meters above the ground. Hello.
Yes, sir.
So distance is what?
29.
29, right. Displacement. First I should
5
find out the
5 root 11.
something I've given. Okay, let me see. This is how much? 8 square to 6 square under root. How much? 10.
Root 10. Sir.
Then
Isn't it?
Yes, sir.
And 10 square plus 15
15 square whole root.
that will be how much? 100 plus
Plus 225.
225.
Root 325.
Root of 325.
5 root 11.
And that will be where? Here. This is our displacement. Which you may also write, if you want to write in IJK form. Which way? 8i plus
6j
plus
50.
all right.
Yes, sir.
So I'll continue further, children. These are some school level questions, but still I am giving it only to make the idea once again very clear. Shall I change it?
Yes, sir.
1 minute, sir.
Yeah. What is the length of a cricket pitch? From this side to that side. General knowledge. Hello. $22 yards.
Yes, sir. Around 20 meters.
So a batsman starts here, goes there, and comes back. That becomes 1 run, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
What do you say?
Yes.
that's 2, sir.
2
1
runs.
run or 2 runs?
2 runs.
Who, sir?
2 runs, whatever it is, because there are 2 batsmen anyway. But that's not my point. He starts here, comes back to the same point. So the distance he covered was 44 yards.
44 yards.
Yes.
Displacement is
0.
0.
0, sir.
right. Okay. Now, can I continue, children, for the next
sir.
page?
Yes.
Right. Particle is moving in a circular path. Now, this may be our starting point, for example. And this may be only once he moved like this, not many turns. First time he is here at B. He can be at B many times, like if he's going on moving. So
Yes.
here for the first time. If the radius is R, the distance between A and B will be how much? Tell me. R. Isn't it? Distance, that is. Displacement will be 2r. Do you follow? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
If he is here for the second time, distance will be what? Hello? 2 pi r plus
R.
like he started at A, went like this, 2 pi r, and then pi r. But displacement is still
2r.
2r. All right? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Now I'll make it much more general. So this is the radius r anyway. Now this is the point A. He moved like that. This is point B. What will be the distance here between A and B? This angle is theta. R theta.
Yes.
And theta you should put in radians.
Radians.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
Right. Then displacement I want. Okay? Displacement is, look children. What is the displacement here? This one, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, how do I get this displacement in a proper way? I'll tell you. I've already told you some time ago, but I'll tell you again. This is my R1 vector. This is my R2 vector. Though the lengths are same, they are different vectors. Isn't it so? Because the directions are changing. Hello? R1 mod equals R2 mod equals R. This angle is theta. And where is my displacement vector, children? This one. All right. So
Yeah.
what did I write? Delta R equals R2 bar minus R1 bar. I'll use the cosine rule now. Mod of delta R equals R2 square plus R1 square minus 2R1 R2 cos theta under root. Hope you followed. But both are R each. 2R square minus 2R square cos theta, which is equal to 2R square into 1 minus cos theta, which is how much? 2R square into 1 minus cos theta is what? 2 sine square theta by 2. Hello. So 4R square sine square theta by 2 becomes what? 2R. Follow it up carefully and ask me.
Sir, I got disconnected in between, so I did not understand.
Yeah, you came in now, right?
Yes, sir.
You may ask. For this, actually here I just showed A to B, but now I'm making it general for theta. You can see when A to B it went like this half circle. What was theta here? Hello, what was theta here? Hello, what is theta here means no one says anything. This is theta here. This theta is how much?
180. Sir.
180. So substitute there. 2R sine 180 by 2 sine 90. 2R. Isn't it so? Hello.
Yes, sir.
If it is 90, you can get. If it is 60, you can get. So that's why we made a general formula for a circular path like this to find out the displacement. These two vectors are different type, though the magnitudes are same. This is R1, that is R2, because the directions are different. So delta R is R2 minus R1. But how do you find out A minus B? A minus B mod equals what? Cosine rule gives you A square plus B square minus 2 mod A
Minus
mod B cos theta.
cos theta under root.
So that only I applied here. And you know, cos theta is 1 minus 2 sine square theta by 2. 1 minus cos theta means 1 minus 2 sine square theta by 2. So this becomes 2 sine square theta by 2. So I want you to write everything properly. I was just going in details. Actually, some of these ideas I've taught previously, but because there are newcomers, I was doing it again. Children. So I've taken an example of circular path. I did for 180 degrees, but in that time, at that time, I did not tell you this angle, all that. We simply looked at it. If I go from here to here, the path length is half of the perimeter, which is pi r. But the displacement is this, right? So tell me, children. Amar, are you okay with everything what all I did?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Jawahar? It's not saying anything. Okay. Should I continue then? See, actually, I could have defined average acceleration instantaneous. I did not. I thought already I had given enough definitions here, and I was going for examples to understand those things. Okay. Here R2 by R2 minus R1, we are not writing in IJK form. We are writing in terms of theta between them. So for that, we use the cosine formula, which we did in vectors. Okay. Tell me, Vasist. Vishnuvardhan.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So can I continue for the next page?
Yes, sir.
Manasa.
Yes, sir.
Right. Now. A particle or a body covers or travels half of its total distance path length. Actually, I need not mention it in a straight line because I just want to know about the average speed. Total distance with a speed v1, and the remaining half with speed v2. Find the average speed for the whole motion. Okay. So what do? Since I did not mention the path, you can take a straight line, you can take any, it doesn't matter. Huh? Hello. So you can say the total is some s or x. It x by 2 with the speed v1 that fellow traveled. The remaining x by 2 with the speed v2 he traveled. Even if I give it like that, you need not bother. Some x with v1, x by 2 with v1, the remaining x by 2 with v2, you can say. It doesn't make a difference whether you say this or this, because nothing is mentioned there. Now, time for the first half will be simply x by 2 by v1. Isn't it so? Distance by speed here. T2 equals x by 2 by v2. So the total time T1 plus T2, delta T, that is actually speaking, x by 2 into 1 by v1 plus 1 by v2. Isn't it? So average speed will be the distance x divided by x by 2 into v1 plus v2 by v1 v2. So x cancelling, I get average speed in terms of speeds v1 and v2. For you to understand it, you can extend it to another question. Everything will be remaining same. A body travels 1/3 of its total distance, you can say. 1/3 with v1, next to 1/3 with v2, the last 1/3 with v3. So find the average speed for the whole motion. Find the average speed for the whole motion. Nowadays, these sums are done very early in the schools, especially in the name of foundation. But as I told you in the beginning itself, I don't care whether you attend the foundation or not. So from 0 level, we are doing it. No one should have any, apprehension that these sums were not done previously, so I'm not following something like that when I do some tough sums later. Come on, children. So I've just given it here because somebody finishing it fast can try this, following the same steps.
Yes, sir.
The same question, just slightly changed. A body travels 1/3 of its total distance with v1. I told you already. To reduce the writing, I just put it in short like that.
Sir, V average is 3 V1, V2, V3 by V1 plus V2 plus V3.
Just a minute. V average equals, tell me.
3 V1, V2, V3 by V1 plus V2 plus V3, sir.
V1, V2 plus
V2, V3
plus
V3, V1.
that's what you get, not V1 plus V2 plus V3, Amar.
Okay, sir.
Should get it, Amar. Huh?
Yes, sir.
No, because V1 plus V2 you got here, you can't get V1 plus V2 plus V3 there. Huh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So how do you do that? So V average will be how? Amar, look, V average will be,
Yes,
I'll
sir.
write in one step. Let the total distance be x. X divided by, that is delta x by delta t basically. X by 3V1.
X by 3.
Because x by 3 by speed is time.
Plus
X by 3V2
yes, sir.
plus x
3
by
V2
3
plus
V3.
x by
Simplify
3
it.
V3.
Simplify, you'll get this.
X by 3
Huh?
take as common.
Yeah.
X by 3 take as common.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Rest is your calculation. This,
Yes, sir.
This will come here. Remember, I'll slowly increase the difficulty level. They look all right, but suddenly you feel, oh, this is going to be tough. But whether it is a very simple question or very tough question, the basic is same. So that is something special about physics. So if you followed, tell me. I'll be closing it for today, but tomorrow also we'll have a class. So I'll continue this for tomorrow. And as I told you, I hope that you are writing it properly there. So leaving all that notes once again, don't say I want material. What you write in the class is exhaustive. No, you can just compare it with some other notes somewhere. They'll give you some 1 or 2 formulas in the middle and then do one problem here, one problem. There's no organization. There's a full lesson here. It's a textbook. It's a guidebook. Everything put together. Okay. There are definitions. There are examples. There are derivations. There are easy sums. There are tough sums. Okay. So all kinds of things are going to be there in the notes. Hello? Are you writing or not, everybody?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So I'll close it for today. We'll come back with more examples and the definition of average acceleration and instantaneous acceleration tomorrow.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, children.